Hello, everyone. I'd like to talk today a little bit about something that's very controversial, cutting and self harm. In the past, and I'm talking specifically about cutting that isn't used for magic or some kind of religious purpose or anything like that, but just for basically the pain. Uh, in the past, I have done that quite a bit, like a lot. Um, I probably got a few dozen scars that aren't going to go away in my body. And I even cut through all layers of the skin on my chest about two or three times because I don't know about the third one. But and I used a scalpel. So I'd like to talk a little bit about it and maybe offer some help to anybody who's still struggling with it. I I did it. I didn't know at the time why I did it, but now I understand that I did it to avert my mind away from what I was thinking about. The mental pain of depression, of sadness, when I was going through some of the worst bits in my life, uh, made it to where physical pain was a preference. Physical pain took my mind away from the mental pain, and that's basically why I did it. And I felt better afterwards, but it's overall it hurts your psyche. It might help for I don't know like a few minutes. It might help even if it helps for a day. If you keep on doing it, your psyche is going to become stigmatized to itself. That may sound weird, but you're not going to have a positive self image of who you are, and you're not going to understand yourself because you're going to feel like there's a part of you that wants to hurt, the other part that wants to survive and not be in pain. Your mind will attack itself, your psyche will be fragmented, and your understanding of your life and your purpose will be influenced to a terrible degree. It always will, every time. Um, no one ever does it because they're depressed and there is no source of the depression. There's always going to be a source that will cause depression, even if it's brain chemistry. And mine is partly brain chemistry and partly the person I was. But um, that there's always going to be these sources for the depression, and you have to figure out how to deal with it without self harm. Otherwise, uh, these sources will rule your life. Whatever reason you have for being depressed, for being sad, for feeling alone or separate from society, um, those reasons won't go away, but they will become stronger the more you hurt yourself. They'll become so strong and so influential in your life that honestly you'll focus on society more than society even focuses on itself. And society is obsessed with itself, obsessed with ego, and you'll focus on it more because you'll feel the hatred and the feeling of loneliness, separation from it, and it the sources that you hate so much will end up ruling you, and it'll rule what you do yourself. It'll rule your body. It'll rule the scars you have on you, on your body and your mind, until you're just a shell who wanted to value something else that's just less materialistic than what society values, but end up valuing the same things in reverse, with the hatred. But they'll still have value to you in your mind and your being, whether you're aware of it or not. They'll still have a estimated value in your understanding of them, and they'll still have influence over you. So it's important not to let them. Don't let the things you want to be separate from, even if you want to be separate from them, rule you. Because they will always be that pole that'll drive you to do things on your opposite side of the pole. Uh, Kind of like this big wheel of self harm. And it's everyone who's gone through it, and I've gone through it. I did cutting, and I even used fire a few times, and I branded myself a couple times at least. And I say at least because I don't really know about the any more than that. I remember two times, but when I when I was captured by my own fear and feeling of separation from society, um, it made me into a person who couldn't value anything that I wanted to do. What I wanted to do, I just didn't have the willpower to do it. I didn't have the strength to do it because this pain just had me completely. It ruled me, and I did a lot of drugs, a lot of cutting, and all of it emphasized society over me. Now I have a far more spiritual outlet, many spiritual practices, and I write, and there's some other things that I do. I lift weights a lot, but these are how I deal with the source of anything that might cause me some kind of feeling of separation or loneliness or pain. I mean, friends, of course, help. I got friends, but even if you don't, you have to find methods to in order to overcome these sources of your pain. And in truth, it's never really the sources that are the ultimate source. It's you're choosing to value them. And that was a hard truth for me to understand. It was very hard. But once I learned over time, I became more of the person I wanted to be. And I'm working on that now, and I'm much happier with myself than I've ever been. So you can get over it too. You just have to figure out why you value society so much and why you value their opinion, whether you want to be separated or with them or not. And you have to figure out methods to influence your own purpose. Even if you don't know your own purpose, what you want to do with your life, just find methods to discover it. Go out there and just try to discover it, or go on the internet, something. Just try to understand what is specific and unique about your mind and which way it really wants to go, what really feels like it's part of yourself, whatever calling it is. And that can be a pole star. That's a pole star that I have, and it's a pole star that a lot of people who've gone through these things have. So do your best to work past this kind of depression that you're feeling, whether it's chemical or whether it's completely psychological. And just don't fall back into it. Cutting will not help. Self-harm will not help. It might help for a few minutes, and even if it did help for a day, even if it did, there's a lot of days in every year, and there's a lot of years in everyone's life. So find other ways. That's all I got to say, and I hope I've helped you. If this information did not help you and it kind of pissed you off or made you sad, feel free to say it in the comments, and maybe I'll take your advice. But this has been my understanding of self-harm and cutting, and why people do it, why I did it, and what it can really do to your overall life. And I thank you for watching. Please hit a like if it helped, and subscribe if you want to see more videos about introspection. Thank you very much.